It's my turn to do the thing, right? Yeah, it's my turn to do the thing.
Sure.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, looks like we're good on my end. Cool.
You have my camera angle messed up again?
Dude, I remember I told you, like, because of where my Skype screen is, so you always gotta just, you know, do the slouch, the side slouch.
It didn't used to be like this. Like, wait, hold on. Maybe I could just.
Yeah, you can just move you can just move your camera.
Oh wait, it'd be this way, I think.
Cool.
I have to wait till updates on stream so I can actually see it.
You're good though. Hey everyone, welcome to Top Clack. On this episode of Top Clack, we have a lot of news. Yeah, a lot of interest checks, a few group buys, and some cool things coming up for better or worse. Cue that
Always worse here.
intro. Dude, for real, like, I should just ask Z Frontier for their intro that they made for for their version of our show, because it's literally better than my own intro. Right?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Are they actually still doing the
Yeah,
Chinese stuff?
yeah. I saw it yesterday or 2 days ago. They posted one. They did when we were talking about the C70 last week on the news. They did that part. For the sub, but yeah, what up everyone? How's everyone doing? Happy holidays. I know we're in like I think Hanukkah's done now. I don't know.
I'm bad with my non-American holidays. Well, anyways, we have a pretty casual show for you today. As you can as you could probably see by the post that I made earlier, we're not going to have a guest this week. Totally fine. We will have a guest next week. That'll be a good time. But, you know, the show must go on. And here we are, half dead and wanting to talk about keyboards. We have a lot of news for you this week. A lot of really interesting stuff, actually. So, should make for some good discussion. Got a little bit of discussion points later. And, yeah, hope you guys enjoy the ride.
Right before we start, I'm just going to move my tabs around so I don't alt-tab to wrong things.
But yeah, we need that top clack level quality.
Ooh, the topists, dude. Last stream, I can't believe like we had so many issues before stream.
Oh, speaking of, I totally forgot to try my 4K cam again. I'm still rocking the 1080p one, which is why I don't look nearly as good as Huey at the moment. But hopefully, I can figure that out before next week.
Straight shout out to Gio. He was able to find a battery for my camera that plugs in directly to an outlet, so I don't have to worry about battery stuff anymore for the show or for build streams.
Oh, fantastic!
For a while, when I
that's
first
been a long time coming.
Yeah, when I first bought this camera, it wasn't available. It wasn't like a thing, but he was able to find one some Chinese company made, and I got it, and it works. So it was like $18 worth. But yes, let us do the news. And first on the news, as I find the news viewers scene, here it is, which is, I don't know why it's so zoomed in. Oh my goodness, because that's the wrong one. This is the correct news viewer screen. My bad. Yeah, Top Clack preparedness. Should we do the discussion point now or later?
Let's do it later.
Yeah, do it later. Okay, let's start with some Keycap news. Starting on the top with JTK Aqua. I know a lot of people have liked JTK pretty recently, especially with purple and white being on stock at Z Frontier, as well as Photo Studio coming out recently. Been looking pretty nice. Quite a few people in our Discord have been posting some pics, but it looks like Z Frontier is going to be trying to push another set, JTK Aqua.
I really like this set, actually. I think the colors are pretty nice. I think we need a better render. Thesis Camper, please.
Definitely need a better render. I wonder if the alphas for the alphas is going to be like the same light cyan that the Photo Studio kind of went with.
It's a little too early to tell. I like the novelties. What is up with these like emoji novelties?
Dude, I love them. I mean,
the faces. I've never seen that before.
No, remember when we first started in the community? Like, maybe it was slightly before you, but like before artisans were a big thing, it was like all about the novelty keys. Like, remember all those like 8-bit heart novelties and all the
I still have a lot of that. Nonsense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So those remind me. Who is it? Had all those faces basically, similar faces. At least the first two. But yeah, there's a lot of novelties of like different faces. I really like that.
Yeah, I like the more what I would call real novelties. The like the wolf and the moon and the star and the seashell or whatever this is.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are pretty cool. I'm gonna imagine as a JTK set, these do still have the incorrect, well not incorrect, but the inconsistent legends with some of their keys, particularly the C, the G, and the N.
We got some,
I think is
some
what it
colors. Here's the Pantone 7471U. Is going to be using, and they're going to be using the 3145U. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm still not entirely sold on JTK, but hey, at the very least, it's double shot ABS cherry profile in relatively neat colors at a price much lower than GMK. So
just want to say thank you, Pluto19. I was talking about Keypop, by the way.
what?
Thank for the remember the all the I was talking about the novelties, all the those Keypop, those the shop. They're still around, I think, surprisingly. Yeah, you're right. This is probably going to be a great price, like most GMK stuff. Even with legend consistencies, it's still, you know, pretty decent for the price.
Yeah. It gets fairly rich too. Compatibility for pretty much any quote unquote normal stuff these days.
I hope maybe in the future they start embracing more 75/65% compatibility with the different row for page up, page down, and end.
No, that's why you have all these faces.
Oh yes, all those row 1 faces.
Who cares, man? 65% and 75% are memes.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how long it's going to be taking them. They're planning on running it as soon as possible. Major changes unlikely, is what they say. Novelties are based on three themes: Abyssal Sea, Fairy Tale, and Emojis. One of those three do not belong.
One of these things is not like the other. So, wait, who designed this set?
A Z Frontier looks like.
I'm here to present you JTK Aqua on behalf of my friend ZJ.
Oh, Vendor Zhao is who the poster is on Keycap. So I assume it is Vendor Zhao.
Oh.
And there's renders.
He has SA renders.
Oh, never mind. I don't care about SA renders. SA renders are trash.
What? Hold on. Why is it rendered in SA? Oh, I see. He used that KBDfans.com.
Yeah.
And they don't have cherry profile, which is weird. But okay, there's a lot more information here at the very least.
Yeah. Lots of cool beans. Cool beans. Let's look forward to that. Moving on, interest check from the Key Company, who brought us GMK Terminal, GMK Led Zepp. They are now bringing us an interest check for GMK Skidata, official name TBD. Looking at Q2 2018. Decent compatibility. I don't know, it's another more Skidata with some more blue.
Yeah. GMK Skidata was already a thing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was already a thing. Twice, Skidata and Skidata Plus, which even though that was slightly different.
Yeah, so I'm not really sold on it. It's not that interesting to me because it's already been out for so long.
Orange and blue, that's like so 2014. That's earlier. It's like when Portal was popular, and so many games are coming out with purple and orange and blue because like that was the hot thing. That was contrast.
Yeah, that was the hotness. But yeah, this not terribly exciting because we've been here before.
I wonder what their pricing will look at, because I feel like the Key Company for their GMK runs in the two they've done in the past have been a bit on the steep side ish.
Prices are a little bit high here, yeah. They will probably be a little bit high here. But oh well. Sometimes that's how it goes.
But I guess it's been a long while since the last one ran, so I guess some people are wanting it back. So
Yeah.
last but not least for our keycap news is on PMK. They're selling DSA Seafoam. I mean, why Seafoam?
I don't know.
Why not like
I remember when
Baby
this was
Blue
an interest
Nursery?
That's a good question. Also, DSA Hana is up on PMK for anybody that's also interested.
Yes, and
which is cool.
They ran out of modifiers, but they also had a Otaku, which I mean, if you're like the true Weeb fan, you get the Otaku alphas and the Hana mods. You know, you can't buy just the mods; you buy the base set. Ultimate Weeb.
I do like Ultimate Weebs.
Yes.
Respect.
DSA Seafoam. So it was designed by J. Meffer later, who also designed their DSA Borealis, which had those fancy glow-in-the-dark novelties.
Oh, I remember that.
The one that, at least I didn't.
That was such a strange set.
The gradient from like purple to blue as you went down.
with the glow-in-the-dark stuff. That was interesting, but
I don't think it didn't really turn out well, IMO.
No.
This is kind of like just very simple. Just blue and blue, and so some black.
Moving on.
Okay, so on Mass Drop, there is... We talked a little bit about it last week, the Q&A, but it's official now. The GMK Uniqey C70 mechanical keyboard is running on Mass Drop now for 300 smackaroos. Didn't we talk about this last week? They didn't have the price last week, huh?
Yeah, I don't think all the info.
It was just the Q&A with Living Speed one with Andy. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, like we said last week, only comes with Cherry MX blacks, blues, browns, clears, or reds. No kit options. Programming is done by their own software, proprietary software, I believe. Unique 70% layout, as they call it. You know what you should do, Ryan? You should write an article on why percentage labels annoy you.
Done.
Yeah, there's no kit options. Comes with GMK keycaps because it's from Uniqey from GMK. Whether you want the accents or no accents, 4 rubber feet, USB-C, $300.
So, there's a lot of interesting things about this keyboard. I have a review on it that was supposed to go up the other day, but it just didn't happen. It will be going up tonight after this show, so review posted very, very soon. So you'll still have a couple days left to decide if you want it or not. A couple notable things: everything here is made in Germany. They didn't outsource like anything, so that's why the price might seem a little higher than it might otherwise be if things were done in China. So, but I mean that's pretty subjective, and that's kind of a pride thing, having everything just be like, bam, this is all German engineered and designed. I personally, I'd rather have it be made in China and save like, I don't know, $100 maybe.
Yeah, I would vote for that option too, and you know what? I'd even vote for a kit option. What do you think about the layout though? You use this keyboard personally yourself for some time. I think you still have the review model somewhere around. Yeah. So what do you think about the layout from using it for a bit? I know we'll find out more in your review, but want to give us a little quickie about what you think about basically the right portion, because that's where it differs from a 65% and a 75%. That's where it differs from a 96 key. How do you feel about all those nav keys? Even though I know you don't personally use nav keys terribly often.
Yeah. So I'm a terrible person to talk about that particular feature, because I don't use any of those keys like at all, which is why I favor 60%. I think it looks better and it's just more functional for me. But if you use these keys, I assume it makes more sense. I think the layout is fine. He's got like a little HHKB thing going on. So you got the short shift, and then you have the FN. And then you have your arrows. So it still feels natural. I would prefer the look of a 60% personally.
As you said last week, and people were saying in chat, artisan holder.
Bam! There you go. Hold all your freaking.
I wish they gave me one to review, because I actually use those keys like every day. But that's life.
Yeah, but alas, people hate you. They don't hate me. So, anyways, yep, review coming out after this. You can check out my thoughts on it, and then make a little decision. But if you can't wait, then bam, lots of info in the Mass Drop post, as well as Living Speed Bumps post, which is linked in the Mass Drop.
Last thing, that spacebar is 6, right?
Spacebar is 6U.
Off center or centered?
Off center, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Next is the interest check for the Danck. Actually, I think the group I just started. Let me.
Please don't call this the Danck.
From Heinebusch of Cartel. I'm pretty sure the group I has started. Oops. Hold on. I could have swore I saw it in the group by section. Everyone just don't mind as I navigate this real quick. Yes, he group by the new name TBD, $30 ortholinear meme board.
Can you post the link in chat or something?
I got you, my dude.
I really hope people don't call this the Danck.
Right.
But I bet Jack calls it the Danck because he calls the Planck the Planck, even though it's named theoretically after the physicist Planck. So
bam.
It'll be interesting. We'll actually get a little bit more info on this next week because Jack will be on the show, so he'll talk a little bit about that. We're not going to talk too much about it at the moment because of that, but we'll just kind of go over a brief overview of it.
Yeah. So 2U or split space. All through hole parts, so it's going to be including your diodes as well. So it looks like this group buy will be including your 48 diodes, and it does use a Pro Micro. It doesn't have like an integrated controller like an Atmel like the Planck does. So this is definitely, in my opinion, how they cut costs. Solder.
Oh yeah, a Pro Micro is like $2 or
exactly.
And a 34U controller is like 20 or something like that, closer to like a teensy or whatever is like between 15 and 20 bucks or something. So pretty big cost savings there.
QMK. Yeah, I mean it's just supposed to be a quote unquote the hella low cost Planck, as Heinebusch calls it.
Oh man, look at the render with all the pictures on the PCB.
That's gonna be the bottom.
You know what? That solidifies that they're gonna call this the Danck.
Right. That's kind of like they say name TBD, but
it feels bad, man. But I mean, either way, a very cheap ortholinear keyboard. I wonder if Top Clack can get a review sample of this. That's just too funny. Too
funny. But yeah, there's a link, group./interest check. Go check it out, I guess, if you want to be really, really cheap. I know Jack, 2 weeks ago we talked about it. He launched his cheap version where, the case was made out of PCB material. So that was a thing. So I guess this is kind of like a tit for tat kind of dealio, possibly.
For sure. Yeah. So wait, is the bottom plate also made of PCB material?
No, it's just going to be, these call it a bottom of base plate. They don't have a material for it.
Okay. Well, very cheap ortholinear option.
I like how for the features they say random crap posts / memes on the bottom of the PCB, easily hidden when the kit is assembled if they're not your thing.
But if they are your thing, why can't you have them in the open?
I like how that that's a feature. It's like when you're when they're just like when you're looking for a car and you're looking for really, really cheap budget cars. It's like features, electronic window.
Oh boy. In true Planck spirits, Alps is also supported here. Very cool to see.
Yes, faux show.
Yep, we'll have more info about this next week.
Something that a lot of people will definitely want more info about is the intercheck for the Noxary XRF, which is a case for the Realforce. Looks like that's kind of the big thing with the Novelforce, this XRF, the TGR Zoe. I mean, TKL is kind of one of the rages right now, and You
Yeah,
know,
custom Topra housings.
as the kids say, shit be lit, yo.
Yeah, it's lit AF, fam, TBQH,
BBQ.
RN. Yeah, Korean barbecue. Um, it it looks good. It looks really good in my opinion.
It's it's interesting. He's just throwing this up there already because he still hasn't finished shipping out X60s. His current 65% group buy is kind of still in the running. It's in production, I believe, but I heard it is going well. But he's already embarking on his next project, for better or worse. This is gonna be interesting on how it goes, because I know a lot of people have already kind of went into the Novelforce case.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so one thing that's kind of interesting here, judging by the render, is that this is a new plate, so you can actually swap your housings into this plate.
That's what it looks like. Yes.
So let's talk about that for a second, because with the Novelforce, you use the steel plate that your Realforce comes with naturally, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how it works?
Yes.
Okay.
He says it says most likely for V2, so it might not be for V1, the replacement plate. He says the spec so far is just the two-piece design.
Okay. Which is fine, but still, just because it's kind of interesting, I wanted to talk about that for a second, because theoretically, you could totally do that, because when you have that steel plate, you have the plastic slider housings just individually in there, so you could take those out and swap those in. That would open you up to having Topra on different plate materials for the first time ever. So instead of using your integrated plastic plate on the HHKB or the steel plate on basically every other Topra board, you could actually go for something like aluminum or potentially polycarbonate or acrylic, something like that. That could be really cool, actually. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Feeling it. I want to feel it.
So 8 degrees of angle. That's agreeable for most people, I'd say. It does have his kind of classic kind of design that he went for 65% and the X60 that we both have. To probably Norbauer's chagrin, there's a seam on the top.
Oh well.
Because remember when we talked to Norbauer, he's like, no seam, seamless.
Yeah. Well, I understand that. Yeah. Not. I mean, the seam is, I wouldn't say it's off-putting, but it looks less professional than seamless. But this is how keyboards have been done for a long time now. We've had lots of two-piece customs just like this, so nothing completely out of the ordinary here, except for I would like to see that replaceable plate. Would love to see that.
Yeah, there's still early ideas. He's toying with idea of a brass weight, which knowing Zondet, he'll probably have, because brass weights, is the shizness, as the kids say. But it's pretty early. So we'll see where he goes with this in the future. Hopefully it goes well. Moving on. Interest check for GMK Weeb Retro, my dude. This is something I'd want. I'd love. Absolutely.
Yeah, this is actually perfection. Because it's like basically 9009 with Japanese sub-legends.
Yeah, like... Count me in. Count me in.
Yeah, give me. Sign me up every time. Love it.
Let's see. What other details do we have? Cost, no idea. Maximum of 175 with base kit and accents. Timeline, none whatsoever. Vendor, none.
It is an interest check, so obviously it's still a little young. And if we're being totally honest, this post has already been up for about 8 days now and hasn't gotten a ton of attention. It's got some.
Hasn't got too much love. Hasn't got too much love. I mean, it says man of interest, Quakeums, and 0 guests are viewing this topic. So,
yeah, that's why I said that. Regardless, it's a pretty cool product. I'm down for it.
Yeah, I'm down for it too.
All right. Moving on.
How was that in keyboard news? That was a key set. What the hell?
Oh, That's probably your fault because
That's
I don't
probably
make
my fault. My bad, my
people
friends.
people already know that I don't make mistakes. So.
Next is a little teaser that Magic Pretzel posted. This is a prototype by Thesis Camper. It is the Kyra 1800.
Yeah. I'm glad it's called the Kyra and not Kira to confuse more people.
I mean, it's similar to an 1800. Let's see, go through. No,
it's the full 1800 layout, right?
I think there still needs to be one more row above. I think that above the numpad is like ridiculous.
There's 2 rows above the numpad.
Yes, 1800s are kind of redonkulous because they have all the nav keys there too.
Gotcha.
We don't really have details. It looks like there's a giant brass thing in the back.
Yeah, that's a pretty big brass weight.
With some kind of design you kind of make out. Interesting. Switch top removable. Yay. No other really details, so let's look forward to it. Hopefully. I don't know.
Yeah. This isn't a render or anything though. Like this is actually a production sample. So coming very soon probably if they already have it on hand.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good. It's got that actually if you look closely at the brass insert, it has the same weight design as the Kira 60.
Yes.
Got that like kind of like star snowflake
Philippine flag.
Is that what it is?
According to McMerlin in chat, yes.
Well, he would know. Pretty sure he's Filipino, so he would know.
But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Something that I will be keeping an eye on though is the intersect for Evil 80 Odyssey, posted by Zeal Ramiel. Interesting. The USB isn't a normal like USB 2.0 or even a 3.0. It's USB HID, so basically aviator cable connection. Aviator cable will be coming with the board.
God, I hope so.
Yeah, right. But I like how the bottom uses the brass weight is angled to be a part of like the bottom of the keyboard. The brass weight itself, like it's integral to the keyboard. Love that.
Interesting. This is a pretty nice looking board. I wonder what the decision on the cable was made for. Like, because does it just look better? I mean, I guess it does look better.
Yeah, that's literally it for the aesthetics, my dude.
Always for the aesthetics, for the children.
Pretty cool though. It looks like you can also swap the bottom brass for like aluminum if you want an aluminum accent on the bottom.
Yeah. So, because you know those accents are more of a thing these days. Instead of having weights, you can have accents.
I really hope they continue with this mint colored PCB.
Yeah, I just noticed that. I was like, man, it looks like one of Leandrin's mint gone PCBs. Pretty nice.
Fill out the interest check if you're interested. And it looks like, according to one of these pictures, it's going to come in a cool box.
Yeah.
I like cool boxes.
A lot of pictures and information already for an interest check thread, so...
Yeah. We've got colors possible. Black, gray, silver, red, pink, or more. TBD. I know pictures of this was posted in our Discord.
Yeah, pretty sure Running
cool.
Hack
yeah, he did.
is pretty hyped about it.
So am I. The cases are manufactured by Eve, who is also doing who did the Moon and who is currently doing, who finished up already, the Mira, which hopefully will be shipping to me soon. So hopefully it turns out well. And if the board I'm getting, the Mira, turns out well, I'll know the factory does great work. I mean, the Moon turned out well, according to some people. So
yeah, we
shall see. Cool interest check. Let's move on to a little teaser from our friend Zeal at Zeal PC. It's just the plate. It looks like the Zephyr custom 65% keyboard kit. USB-C.
It's like he's giving us just the tip.
QMK, in-switch RGB LEDs, black gold PCB. If I remember that translation that he told me at the meetup, because it has those same letters on the PCB, and I was like, because he had the 65% PCB at the meetup, I'm like, what do these letters mean? He's like, black gold, because the PCB is just black and gold.
I think it means Ford and Big Brother. Every time I see like Chinese characters, I just want it to be Ford Big Brother. I want everything to be about me. Okay, so looking at this picture, what's one thing you notice immediately about this plate?
It's thick.
Exactly.
Like, so thick.
Is this like a forced perspective thing, or do you think this is actually going to be a really thick metal plate?
I really hope it's a really thick metal plate, because you know the thing about Zeal is like, if he was gonna build a keyboard, he'd want it to be very quiet. The keyboard itself to be quiet. And a good way to do that would have low resonance by having a thicker metal plate. So yeah. I'm going to say super thick plate. So thick. I'm excited to see what else he has under his sleeve about this. Woo-wee.
Maybe we can have him back on the show soon, which that should have happened already, because like he's been doing more stuff lately.
We should, because I feel like we should probe his mind a little bit about these Zilents. Fun fact: I'm getting samples of them.
Nice, cool. As long as one of us is, that's really cool.
Yeah. And after I finish, playing around with them, I can send them to you.
Are you getting enough for a board, or are you just getting a couple?
I'm getting like 2 of each.
Zeal, please come on, send me a bunch of them.
I'm excited.
Switch, as we learned last week, one switch isn't enough to test. You gotta have a board of it.
Next, interesting thing, the Intercheck for the big split, a 5x8 split non-staggered keyboard, V0R1. This is by Bishop Keyboards, who's done quite a few things, including like the PCB ruler and other small form factor things, I believe. I feel like this is like almost like the opposite direction of all like other split orthos who were like, let's do small, maybe add some thumb keys and be small, compact, and split. And he's like, no. Screw that.
For me, it's so hard to get interested in stuff like this, because like it's not really new, it's not really innovative. It's just kind of, I get that it serves a purpose, because there are probably people out there that want a lot of keys on a split ortholinear, and that's cool. But like, it's not really interesting. It's still just bigger plunk.
Yeah,
bigger left split. Like
it's a bigger left split. Yep.
But hey, if you're really into that sort of thing, then he definitely is a pro at catering towards those needs.
And finally, for our keyboard dudes, is an interesting Kickstarter, the Dygma Raise, the world's most advanced gaming keyboard.
Oh God, how many times have we heard that in the past?
Split 60% with integrated wrist rests. Both parts go together. There are thumb buttons, which use the Kale low profile switches. All the keys are hot swappable. It has RGB backlighting and underglow for both the wrist rest and the keys. Numpad layer and stuff, and
it's low profile.
Of course, I mean, there's gonna be an extra USB slot, magnetic connectors, a full aluminum body, magnetic joint to join them together. Here's the GIF of those cherry switches that everyone has seen since the beginning of keyboard history. You can get it with speed switches because gamers.
Kale, I'm assuming Kale is the only option for switches here.
No, cherry as well.
Cherry as well, okay.
Yeah, so let's go back to the top. Sorry for your headache. They are trying to achieve $100,871. And they are halfway there.
I mean, it's not a bad-looking product. I see the appeal of it.
I definitely see the appeal. So let's see. The early bird special, €165.
Oof. Okay, so now we get into the question of why buy this over a split Mistel Baracco. For
RGBs,
Mistel Baracco has RGB,
not side underglow. Only in switch. No wrist rests on the Mistel Baracco either. This is, I don't know, is Mistel Baracco all aluminum case?
No, I think it's plastic.
This is all aluminum case.
But Mistel Baracco isn't low profile.
That's true. Mistel Baracco isn't
if
low
I recall,
profile.
It's actually high profile.
It is high profile case. This has thumb buttons. Do you think gamers would actually want this keyboard or buy this keyboard, or will they say there's no numpad? I can't play CS without my my buy binds.
Well, we probably have we have 70 viewers right now. We probably have some gamers in the chat. What do you guys think about this keyboard from a gaming perspective?
But are they gamers or are they like gamers? I
don't know. There's probably some of each. Mago used to be a pro CS player. Come on. What do you guys think about this? Is this ridiculous, or like, does the Mistel Baracco make so much more sense for way cheaper price?
Raise is a gaming keyboard and a gaming keypad in the same device. Saves space on your desk, allows you to play more comfortably, and can help you focus. Man, I wish I had a keyboard that could just improve my focus. Like, is this keyboard Ritalin?
I mean, it's a Kickstarter, right? It's just buzzword, 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 buzzword. None of this stuff is like new. Like, there's nothing innovative, like, in our enthusiast community.
You know what, Brian? Reading through this, I've realized you need to bold random phrases in your reviews now on, because that seems to be like you can detach either side and play with the other. That way, you'll have more space for your mouse to be able to play more comfortably.
All right, you can stop right now. But seriously, here, like, there's very little, if anything, here that's really an innovation. We've had in switch and underglow before for LEDs. Like, we've had built-in wrist rest. 60%'s not new. Split 60%'s not new. Like, it sounds like they're just really trying to push this as like a brand new, like, state-of-the-art everything kind of product, and it's like it's got these like super cheap, like $5 shine through Chinese keycaps. Like, it's not even, come on, like, if you're gonna put in that kind of effort and charge that much for a unit, I think you gotta go a little bit higher quality on some of the components. All right, what are people saying about this? Low pro thumb buttons, not a bad idea though. Okay, I agree with that. And they are the KLO profile switches, so that's pretty cool. The downside there is, unless I'm mistaken, you have to use those keycaps because those are obviously custom cut just for that. So kind of a bummer there. So even if you switch keycaps on the rest of your keys on this keyboard, you won't be switching those, which means it'll automatically look silly.
Hold on, there's two connectors that have to go into something. Like, one side doesn't go into the other. Like, both sides have their own individual line. Judging by these pictures.
Someone's asking you to fix my camera on the news overlay because it overhangs the border.
I see it.
Very slightly. Yeah.
Fine. Let's see.
Yes. I also need to raise that a little bit. I was so not prepared for the show today. I'm sorry, guys. Like, so unprepared for the show.
Cool.
Anyways, we've spent a lot of time talking about this already.
Too much time.
Yeah.
Let's go to our other news.
But it's kind of not.
Our back to Zeal PC. Oh, what did he change the URL? But he's doing the group buy. Here it is. Round 9 blue Zilent switches, silent tactiles for 90 cents a pop. 90 cents a pop.
I need to go find this group buy since that link was broken. Or you could post it. I got it.
Okay.
All right. So I called this like many months ago, and I still like to rub it in people's faces. As soon as I saw Gateron was doing silent switches, I was like, bam, silent Zealios. And here they are, calling them the Zilent switches. They are tactile. So a little bit conflicting terminology. This is an official term because it's Zeal saying it. He's the one making the product and putting it out. So these are Zilent switches. That is what these are going to be called.
Blue Zilent switches.
Yeah, but if you've been around for, the last couple months in the community, you probably have heard the term Zilent before, meaning something else. So...
maybe that's why you put blue Zilent, because he doesn't call Zealios purple Zealios or purple Zeal switches, right? Like, this is the one where he actually put blue Zilent, I think.
I'm pretty sure he calls them purple Zealios, too. Hold on. Tiffany blue Telios, purple Zealios.
Okay, You're right. Yeah, okay. He has put the color. I'm just tripping.
Yeah, so... all the weighting here is what you normally get from the Zealios line. You get 62, 65, 67, and 78 gram. And the benefit here is it's quiet. It has those little rubber, I don't even know what to call them, little rubber stoppers, I guess, on the top and bottom of the outside portion of the sliders, so it bottoms out the upstroke and the downstroke. These are they're designed a little bit differently. They're not quite as thick as the Gateron ones or the Cherry ones, so you're not losing as much travel distance, and in theory, it doesn't feel quite as mushy.
Yeah, I think what Krelbit said in his review, which we'll just talk about in a second, he used less of it, but he used harder rubber for it, so it doesn't have that mush feel. Which that's been my main complaint about silent switches in general, like about like a silent red or silent black. So personally, I am actually excited to see how he's implemented it for this, because I like that hard feeling when I bought him out. I like it hard.
You would.
So yeah, I mean, I'm getting a sampler of this. It's coming Saturday. I just got the tracking today from him because Zeal is a baller when it comes to shipping.
Yeah, so it'll be here like 10 hours.
So I did ask him about the Zilents plus Zealios, by the way. Like, hey, if you had both of them, would it be like the quietest thing ever? And apparently, if you had the Zealio on, the Zilencio silencer on, it stops the bottom out bumper even hitting anyways.
So it's counterproductive.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if he'll give us enough of these to build a board. Because I really don't want to just test one switch.
Yeah.
But then again, I often ask Zeal for stuff. So I feel bad. Zeal, if you're watching, don't make me ask. Just send me some.
Please.
just come on. All right, so yeah, that's going on right now. You can get into that minimum order number of 20. The drill, just like all the other stuff. Now, moving on to
last but not least, I just want to say group buy pricing will remain until the 15th of next month, so you do have some time to hop on the blue Zilent gravy train.
Yeah, what do we think about the pricing actually before we move off this? Do you think 90 cents is good here? Do you think that's... I think it's par for the course, considering it's 15 cents more per switch than a traditional Zealio.
I would have hoped it was only 10 cents. I know it would be more. Like, that's kind of like a given. Everyone's like, yes, it will be more. But I was hoping it'd be like 10 cents more. But, it is what it is. Because, like, when you think about, like, the real kicker is when you have, that retail pricing. $1.20.
Yeah.
That's the real kicker. Because for the price of, a 60% board full of Zilents, that's enough switches for 3 boards worth of box switches.
Yeah.
That's the kicker. I mean, the 90 cents is a bit steep.
At 90 cents that's already over triple the price of box switches. Because box switches are 28 cents a piece without even using our promo code. So, yeah, pretty expensive for Switch, but there's some new design going into this, so can't really knock it, I guess. All right. So interestingly enough, our next topic is also about a tactile silent switch, and I did scan over this a little bit earlier because I didn't really understand why this was happening. But a couple things I did notice is that, like the Zilents, these are also manufactured by Gateron, and there's some pictures if you scroll down. They have it compared to a I think is what an MX clear stem is.
Not even
Pretty
close,
sure that's
though.
what. Yeah, no, I know. So what I've heard a lot of people say that these are essentially just a recolored Silent Gateron brown,
Mm-hmm.
which, if true, is totally not interesting at all.
No, aside
But-
from you can buy it with the with the springs already in. That's about it. 62,
Yeah,
5,
exactly.
7,
So
7800.
presumably these use the exact same springs as Zelios. That'd be my guess, because they are gold, they come in the same weights, and they're still done by Gateron. So that would be my guess. I wouldn't mind getting some of these into tests as well, but I have less high hopes for these because, as you can tell, in this picture that shows the two tactile legs between that and what I think is an MX clear stem.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, the tactility is much more aggressive on the MX clear stem, much more bump. And the pink, what are they calling this?
Aliaz
Silent. Okay.
It's not the bump that really makes me think about it, but actually, if you look at the bumper, the top bumper is much larger than the bottom bumper. So the bumpers is much more oriented in stopping the upstroke than it is the downstroke.
Yeah.
So for me, that's the interesting part, as opposed to them being equal, like on Silent Reds and Blacks, I believe, if I remember correctly.
So they do state here in this post that the mold, the housing, and the stem are all redesigned by KBDfans. So in theory, this is the stem, at least, is like fully custom.
Yes.
So I don't know. And like if you look at the housings and stuff, like the housing and leaf look a lot like Zelios, I think.
We will have to see once more information is out there.
Has a feeling similar to MX clear switches, but smoother and better. All right.
I can believe the smoother part, but that's not hard to achieve.
Yeah, MX clears are like typing in sand. Like you're at like a beach, and like you're just putting your fingers in sand. It's not good, man. Doesn't feel as good.
But know what feels good? Running your fingers through your beard, Brian. But the closest people might get to that are these beard novelty keycaps.
I don't know. I'm pretty open. Like if you want to rub my beard, like that's totally fine. I'll let most people do that.
You heard it first, guys. Go to the Seattle meetup, rub Brian's beard. Tell him Top Clack sent you.
Sometimes people do that. Yeah. Promo code for rubbing my beard, by the way. Top Clack, 2 words.
So this is my MG Sickler. This is from Mike of Novelkeys. So he's been wanting to do this idea for some time. He's like, there's a lot of cool, beards, mustache things.
Yeah.
What better thing for Novelkeys to do than a novel key?
True. And if you've never actually seen Mike of Novelkeys, he has a very glorious beard. Much more glorious than mine. So he this is pretty par for the course for him. One thing I don't see here is actually how the keycap will look, like in any way.
No. It's just it's a really early interest check. But he's set on GMK.
Wow, okay. So double shot beard novelties. Very interesting. This was posted 4 days ago, and if I'm being totally honest, it didn't really get much attention at all. So I wouldn't be surprised if we just don't ever see this because there wasn't enough interest. But hey, that's what interest checks are for. Either way, kind of interesting. If that's something you guys want to see, make sure you comment and upvote the thread and stuff, and tell them that you need more beards in your life, damn it, because you can't rub mine because I'm too far away. We had that on there twice.
Yes.
Oops.
Speaking of someone far away, Krelbit on the other side of the country did a review on the Zilents. Are they worth it? Let's just go down to the pros and cons and the TLDR. I would highly recommend you read this yourself. Krelbit is a pretty thorough guy when it comes to things like this. If you know anything about his lube work, he can be very, very thorough at, really getting deep into things.
Yeah, this is a really well formatted review.
It is. So, pros: silent, smooth, retains tactility, full travel distance, incredibly silent when lubed. Zelios housing is always really nice. Somehow, nice shades of blue is a pro. Okay. Cons: yeah, money. We talked about that. Unlubed, there may be some stickiness in the first place, which is going to be. It sounds interesting to me.
Yeah,
I guess it's. But that's if you press the first press if you haven't touched it for a while. So I think the rubber might settle against the material of the housing. Not sure. And spring grind.
Spring grind. So what exactly does that mean? I've never heard that term before.
Maybe the spring crunchiness.
Okay.
We'll see. Huh. I will find out when I get my samples. The neutral part is actually a pro to me, which is the loss of softness on bottom mount. That's a pro for me.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
Check out this review if you can. Krelbit's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, he does make an edit there at the end that says, Zeal reports that I have received early prototypes and that they are being worked on and tweaked right now. So, this is probably, while this is a very good review, this theoretically might not be production model, so could be a little bit different at the very least. Also, what I totally forgot to say earlier, the terminology for silence. So Krelbit he says this in the review too. He's a really big fan of putting Cherry MX silent stems in Zelio housings, and he calls those Zilents and has for months and months and months. So Zilent has already been an unofficial term in our community for a while now, and then Zeal decided to call these new tactile switches that he has Zilent. So kind of a conflict in terminology there, and hopefully that doesn't confuse people very much. Because this is, as it's Zeal doing it, it's a much more official term. Like he's actually launching a product under that name, whereas Krelbit was just putting two pieces together.
What do you think Zeal will call the eventual silent Telios?
I don't think he's gonna do him.
You don't think he's gonna do him?
I don't know. I don't think it's probably not worth doing them. Maybe, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I could be wrong, but I'm usually not wrong, so.
Okay, last but not least for our news, we have a pretty cool update for Novelkeys. There are big Switch extras now available, limited supplies more in the future. The Novelkeys crossed with the low profile heavy switches are now for sale. Restocked on box whites, which have been sold out for a while because those are wildly popular because they are wildly amazing.
They're very good value.
He's still selling the Cherry Silent group buys with the MX Silent Red springs, which are great if you want to get those on the cheap for those stems.
If you were going to buy Silent Reds anyways, or you were going to buy Silent Blacks and just swap springs to something else anyways, just buy them from here, because he kind of got screwed on this group buy. We talked a little bit about that last week. You can check that out. I'm not going to talk too much about it now, but he kind of got screwed on this group buy. A lot of people did. But if you were looking into just buying Silent Reds anyways, and you don't care that the stems will be black, just buy these anyways.
And, speaking of getting screwed, he has screw and stabilizers now available in the 7U flavor.
That's a hot transition, my man.
Thank you. Ryan and I have been asking Mike ever since he's like, I have screw and stabs, and we're like, but where are the 7Us, my dude?
Asking or begging? Because I recall begging a few days ago. Just like, come on, man. I don't want to order stabs from other places. It's got to be from you, bro.
So now he has 7U stabs, both in the PCB mount snap-in, and plate mount as well, and screw in. So, awesome. Possum. Box Navy updates. This is the big one because last week he was like, sorry, they're delayed because the machine thing. The shipments have been shipped with the Jades in that shipment. So sometime next week, he'll be receiving a wonderful, a little bit late Christmas present to send to everyone else. If you've pre-ordered your Box Navies, wait for them to be posted for the extras after it. And Box Jades, no pre-orders happen for that. They're going straight to the shop, straight to the store. Get them while it's hot. Brian and I will be doing builds with probably both Jades and Navies.
Very exciting. Very exciting stuff.
Hata received the box Navy switch, and he redid the graph because a lot of people were talking about the box Navy and box Jade graphs and things.
Yeah, people are like, oh, that won't return.
It returns.
Guess what? It got sampled and tested for 80 million key presses or whatever. That's why it's taken so long to get them. So, you know, it's almost like they're fully functioning switches, Huey.
Crazy.
What a thought.
So one thing on the big switch I do want to say, it makes me really feel proud about Top Clack, is the first order that Mike received from the public for the big switch was from a Top Clack supporter who is an amazing person. We'll be getting an awesome gift for that. I just want to be like, yeah, Top Clack support. Top Clack love. If you also want to give the Top Clack love to Novelkeys, feel free to get anything from Novelkeys and use promo code TopClack. And in the note section, write Mike a poem about why box Jades are beautiful.
A poem? Wow. I think you're asking a lot of people here. I really hope Mike gets like a couple poems, though. That'd be pretty funny.
Haikus are acceptable.
Yes. Very, very cool.
You know what, Brian?
What?
I think we have a raffle to do. Or
that's
a result to announce because they already polled.
Don't mislead people. All right, so a few days ago on the 14th in our Discord, we started the raffle for the black clipe that Mechanisk has so generously given to us to give away. Well, he didn't really give it to us because it's being shipped from him, but people were able to win that, and that is really, really awesome. Wait, I think it's frozen for me. What the hell?
Oh, they unfroze for me. It was frozen for a moment.
Okay.
Things look good on my end.
Yeah, you seem fine now. You were frozen for a second. I'll kind of restart. So we have a black clip to give away, courtesy of Mechanisk. We started the raffle for it 4 days. No, wow, no, it's like a week ago now. It was on the 14th because we're slow. So we started on the 14th. It was a Google form that you could find in the announcement section of our Discord. It was pretty simple. A little Google form. You had to fill out a couple things, and you were entered to win as long as it was before the 18th.
You know what, Brian? Before we announce the winner, I do want to read out some of these wonderful answers that we got from the community.
Awesome.
Because
some of them are pretty good.
Some of them are pretty good. Some of them are pretty good. Favorite thing about Top Clack? Top cringe. Thank you.
Very nice, very nice. Cringe is always good. Always good.
Schrodinger's pants.
Oof. Yeah. This was really fun. I went through and I looked at a lot of the answers for, you know, why people liked Top Clack and why people liked Leandra and stuff like that. It was a good time.
What was your favorite thing about Top Clack? Brian. He was okay too, I guess.
There were a couple people that just said Brian, and I was like, Interesting.
This one is like a old school reference. Waffles and Bektor's left foot.
Wow, bringing it back classic.
That's bringing it back to the old school.
Yeah, representing for all the veteran Top Clack viewers.
Huey deluded into thinking America is great. America's a goddamn great country.
Oh God.
Favorite thing about Top Clack? Bektor.
Yep, rightly so.
The waffles versus pancake debate.
Yeah, but thankfully it was, for the most part, quite wholesome. People seem to always put really nice things for what to say about Leandra and what to say about Top Clack.
You know, I do want to say, a bit surprisingly for me, the #1 PCB people said they'd build it with was a Zeal 60 PCB.
Very interesting. People loving that in-switch RGB.
And the #1 switch was some variety of Zelios as well.
Unsurprising, I guess. Zelios still reign kind of supreme in the tactile market.
I think maybe tying it was Zilents. I don't know if they meant the official Zilents or Or the unofficial Zilent, though.
Yeah, and see, if for the next month or two, that's going to be really confusing. So we're not going to do this live because we already did it. We did it right before the stream. We RNG'd a winner. There were 153 entrants, so your odds were 1 in 153 if you're really into that kind of thing. And yeah, we drew a number, which was 43, and that user is YongHF. That was his Discord name. We also have his other information. Yeah, and he said he's going to be doing it, if he wins it, he'd be doing it with a Zeal 60, round 3, and then some of the new round 8 Zelios or Zilents. And then he went on to say some nice things about Leandrin and Top Clack as well. And he wishes that Thesis Camper can come on the show in the future. I've actually, if you're watching, I have contacted Thesis Camper about being on the show, and he just straight up can't do it in our normal time block because, you know, he's just busy during that time. But that also lends itself better to, you know, my upcoming YouTube series, which will have a lot of guests on that are not usually able to make it, because there's a lot of really cool high profile guests out there that we just can't have on because of either them being too busy or the time just doesn't make sense, them being in different time zones, etc. So look forward to that. I will try to have him on that as well, or instead, rather. So anyways, yes, YongHF is the winner. We will be hitting him up on the Discord shortly and getting some more info from him. But yeah, thanks to all those that entered. Your odds weren't too bad. Everyone said rigged. Why does everyone just say rigged for everything? Everyone says rigged for every contest.
Every contest, Ryan. Every contest.
Oh, yeah.
So I saw something on RMK earlier, Ryan.
Okay.
Let me just go back to the news viewer Reno, and while you grab that post, I saw a 5-degree case, and someone put the blockers on the top. Quite interesting. I wish they went with a wind keyless bottom row, but this is a really interesting look, a really creative way to use the blockers. IMO.
Yeah. So this got us thinking, because you're able to put these blockers anywhere, like, what are some other really good implementations for the blockers?
You had
in
a good one
scenario?
earlier when we were talking before the show. Please share that.
Yeah, so I don't remember who did it. I think I actually saw the picture in the Top Clack Discord, but I saw a few days ago that someone had the 5-degree, and they used their blockers to segregate the the arrow keys on their 60%. So blocker to the left of the left arrow key, and then a blocker to the left of the up arrow key. And so it gave it that kind of like arrow key segregation look that you can find on like the White Fox Aria, I think it is. So it's just separated there. And I thought that looked really cool. Like, it's probably something I would never do because I would never use arrow keys on a 60%. But I thought the idea was really cool. And then when Huey showed me this, I was like, man, people are getting really creative with these blockers. And like, what other things could you do? Like, should people do with these blockers to kind of mix it up?
Split backspace and then block the top left and right keys. So it's like an inverted HHKB, because you couldn't do an HHKB blocker because your spacing would be off.
Interesting. I know it wouldn't be functional at all, but can you buy the blockers separately?
No.
So I can just imagine people buying a bunch of blockers and just blocking off a bunch of stuff. Like, you just space bar in the bottom row. And like I think that'd look cool.
You know what? I should desolder my far keys and just do 1.57, 1.5 in my bottom row and just be done. Because I can do caps for control. I got an alt, and the alt on the far side can be my Windows key. And I am set, as the kids say. As everyone says, I mean.
Olivia says block all the keys except for the WASD. Yeah.
You can focus on your game.
Turn your 60% into just a game board.
If you block everything but the Ys, that means the other part of your keyboard is like a plate that you could eat on.
That is genius.
You can put your drink on it.
I mean, we play Overwatch though, so we also need like Q and E and space and shit.
Let's be real, Brian. WASD Q. Let's be real.
You don't need space bar. You don't even need a mouse. You just WASD.
Q.
Q. Always hitting those ults. Oh man, I've got this in my sights.
So I do want to share some other fun things. Some of you might have seen me tease earlier, but I have a Norvelkeys in the flesh. If you're in our Discord channel, which you can join below the stream, you might have seen me post some pictures in our picture channel. This is a prototype of the Enigma Gray. Oh man, I also posted my typing video on our official YouTube. You should check that out. It sounds pretty groovy. It feels pretty groovy. So initial thoughts I want to go over. So you know how we always complain and say, "Oh man, Topra, so many screws on their PCB," right? That's what we always say. And for example, his old case, the Norba Touch, Brian was like, I want to leave it really nice and simple. You only need 8 screws to take apart the case. And that's it, you know, nice and simple. But when Ryan designed the Norvelkeys, he's like, 16 screws was too little. There are 16 screws now connecting the top and bottom sheet.
Wow. On top of the, I don't know, 40 that you need on your PCB.
Fortunately, you don't need to undo the PCB for this.
Yeah, it seems pretty simple.
So there's a breakout board. I have a USB-C cable. So I know Ryan doesn't want. He watches the show because he sent me a USB-C cable because he knows I don't own one. Because I've said many times I don't own a single device that has a USB-C cable or port. So he's like, I'll throw one in. Feels pretty good. Even though he said it's a seamless design, that's true unless you have the feet on, which of course provide a seam, because the feet, instead of being the cone things that we aren't the biggest fan of, he has these feet that go along most of the side. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I dig it. Does it feel pretty hefty?
Feels pretty hefty. The finish, this powder coat finish, has a really nice texture to it. It's not like super smooth like anodized aluminum, but it's interesting, not gritty texture, but it's powder coat. It looks beautiful in the light, IRL. Like, oh man, I'm excited. I'll have a review out for this before the group buy ends on the 31st.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've been doing some other stuff lately too. How about you, Brian? Have you been doing anything lately?
Not a whole lot. I mean, I did get the other day. I got your time TKL in.
Ooh.
So now I can build that up. Not entirely sure what switches I want to use, but as usual, I'm waiting for stabilizers to come in. And then we can yeah. Then we can do some building. And then once those come in and once plate comes in, I can actually do my 5-degree build as well with the 78 gram round 8 Zelios. So definitely have some things to build in the near future. And also the E6 V2 shipping so soon.
Dude, that's how hype. Like,
yeah,
my dude.
Like,
so Brian, you asked Exclusive, who joined our Discord, if he could take pictures of your nameplate. What did he say in response?
Yeah, he said, I'm sorry, yours is already fully packaged up. And I said, ooh. that's a way better answer than yes, by the way. Gladly would rather have him package up and ship me my stuff than, take pictures for me. So very happy about that.
He's like, just imagine if he's like, oh, I'll delay your package by 2 days because I'm going to open it up and take this picture for you.
No, just send it.
Norbauer is calling me out in chat for his reason behind the 16 screws. I definitely understand. Just as a normal person, it's a lot. But I understand why it's necessary.
Yeah. There's things that make sense that we just don't like. oftentimes just because it's just we're lazy. Like Huey and I are so lazy, but like yeah, it's obviously better to have more screws most of the time. All right, well now it's probably a good time to start a little Q&A. You guys probably don't have a ton of questions for us since we don't have a guest, but we'll answer whatever we can and then probably head out here in 15 or 20 minutes or less.
Brian.
Yes.
Cinnamon roll pancakes. Yay or nay?
Yeah, why not?
Right? Like when people are like, waffles, I'm like, but you can do so much with pancakes. I mean, you can with waffles, but pancakes.
Yeah, you could probably do it. Yeah, you could probably do waffles the same way. What are people in the chat are saying? ES120. What is that?
Oh, so that's Olivia's thing. It's an electric screwdriver.
Oh God.
You put it in the screw. You do one little tighten, and then you push a button, and it goes, and it does the rest of it. You can program the torque as well, so you don't over torque a screw. That's an ES.
That sounds like quite a luxury.
when this motion is a bit for you.
Yeah, I don't think in my keyboard building career I have ever been like, damn, I wish I had a better way to screw these in. I don't like that's never been a concern for me in keyboards.
Janglad asks, any exciting guests planned?
Yeah, so next week we'll have Jack Humbert back on the show. He is the ortholinear keyboard guy, OLKB. We've had him on before quite a while ago, but a lot of things have happened since then, and he wants to come on and talk about some things. And yeah, he's a super nice guy, really, really knowledgeable. So it'll definitely be a good time. All right, a couple more questions already. Awesome, and thank you guys for using the Top Clack tag. That way we can see questions a lot easier and pick them out, so we don't have to go through all of the chat. So Ashing Fire asks, I've been extremely excited about the E6V2. I decided until today to buy stabs, and the 2U screw-in are out of stock on Novelkeys. Feels bad, man. Oh, okay. I guess that wasn't actually a question, but he used the tag anyways. Oh, well. So I imagine he'll restock them soon.
Yes, he will, probably.
Yeah, I imagine that'll be restocked soon.
We might be part of the reason he sold out. Just going to say, our bad.
Yeah.
That's all we're going to say about that.
Huey and I might have ordered a really unreasonable amount of stabilizers. Oh, well. Yeah, I'm sure that'll be restocked soon. Oh, wait, I can't even see this name. This contrast. Oh, it's Zambuman. Zambuman asks, since the next episode will have a guest, could you do a 2017 recap? I assume he means right now. Huh. Interesting.
I was thinking of saving a recap for early February or late January, because mid-February we're planning to do a Top Clack special event. I mean, we could do one for the end of the year still. Brian,
I don't even know what the special event is.
Brian, we have talked about this.
Have we? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I think more people on Top Clack remember what this is at the moment than you do right now. But yes, we'll be doing a special event for Lunar New Year's.
Oh, okay, yes.
So I was thinking about doing like a special episode right before that.
Okay.
So I might do it then because everything was a bit close for the Christmas timeline.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. That'll be cool. So I guess we'll work on that then, because yes, I do remember now the event will be pretty cool. Pretty darn cool. Dilbert Programmer asks, when does the Brian interview sessions go live on YouTube? I'm waiting for a little bit of design work from our designer, and then once I have that, I will schedule my first guest and I will get to work, and it won't take too long. There's not a ton of effort that goes into it aside from that, so it won't exactly be hard to do.
Do you get to unveil the name yet, or are you gonna keep it hidden until it launches?
I'll keep the name hidden for now, just to make people wait. Rogue Soldier 77 asks, do you guys like Novelkeys speed heavy switches? Yes, I like them more than the normal speed switches, but I tend to have a lot of problems with actuating the speed switches accidentally. Sometimes, and I haven't used a lot of the speed heavy switches on full boards, so maybe I won't have that problem there. But in the normal speed switches, I could just graze over a keycap like a little too hard, and it actuates. So that caused me to make a lot of errors. So I kind of gave up on the speed switches, but I think the speed heavy switches are better because I think that extra weight really helps that particular style of switch. Kuji asks, thoughts on spring swapping Hako switches?
I've done this.
Hey, Huey, take it away.
Only worth it if you're swapping Hako Trues, because the Hako Trues have such a unique spring because of that preload, the high bottom out. For example, I put a Hako True switch into this, this navy switch, box navy switch, and it feels really, really interesting. Woo.
I think he's talking about the reverse, though. Spring swapping the Hako switches, not taking Hako springs and putting them in new switches. So the other way around.
Oh,
So I would advise against it probably, just because the way Input Club designed these switches was really, really heavily based around the spring. That kind of determines how the switch feels. And obviously you can change it just like you can any other switch, but don't expect it to feel as good because it's kind of designed partially around the spring and the way the spring actually works. So, I haven't done it. Probably will eventually, but I probably won't care as much because I trust Hata and Input Club.
Mm-hmm. In Hata we trust.
Exactly. I need all of my keyboards to say that.
We should get a keyboard engraved. When I get my K-type, just in Hata I trust.
Yeah.
In Hata we trust.
I'm a second.
Question from Jazzy Brewer. Top Clack, howdy, I'm going to be doing a low-profile build. I'm a linear guy. Any thoughts on the Kale low-profile switches?
I actually have all of the Kale low-profile switches here. The heavy ones and the normal ones. I'm not gonna really dig around for them right now. I thought they'd be right here, but they're not. So, I think they feel fine. The sample that I got of the linear was a little on the scratchy side for the lighter one. The heavier one felt a little bit better, but I don't know. The short travel distance still kind of throws me off. I haven't tried it on a full board. I'm not really sure how much I would like linear when you have that little of a travel. I think I'd probably wind up going for either the tactile or the clicky variant just to have something there. And normally I am most definitely a linear guy myself, but that's with closer to full throw switches. Low profile ones, I think I need something that isn't linear personally. But that's cool you're doing a build with that, because I've been wondering for a while now, like, why Novelkeys is still selling all the low profile switches, because like nothing on the market can really use them, barring like one or two very, very like obscure circumstances. But I mean, hey, if they're selling and people are using them, awesome, more power to them. Morning Coffee asks, this episode did not contain enough Christmas. Why? That's a good question, because Christmas will be over for next week. We should have done something special.
Because on Monday, I will be streaming on Christmas. That's why.
Oh my god. I might be there.
Cool. We can actually do a Christmas thing.
Yeah, I usually go over to my sister's and have a little family thing, but I think we're doing that Christmas Eve this year, so I might actually be available on Christmas. So that could be cool. And hopefully by then we'll have stabs and a plate so I can build my 5 degree, or I can build up the time TKL or something. Have a little fun, and we'll drink like bourbon and eggnog or something.
Fun in the sun. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'll be drinking, of course. But yeah, Christmas stuff coming soon. Why not? YOLO. HHKB for Life asks, what are your thoughts about aging steel springs in a Model F? Do you think older springs affect the sound over time? I actually have no idea. I have no experience on the aging process on IBM keyboards.
It does. The key thing is how well of a condition was that IBM Model F, or just IBM keyboard kept. It's not typically the biggest deal, I mean, as long as it was a well kept keyboard, then it'll be fine. But I mean, like everything, it can degrade. But I don't think it's, at least in our community, that big of a deal. I haven't, maybe 1 or 2 keyboards I've read about where it's like a deal where people swap them, but nothing I think people really should be worried about. Yeah. Let's see. Next from Olivia. Brian, are you going to the Top Clack meetup, the Arizona meetup as well?
I forgot I was muted. I just read that question thinking I wasn't muted, then I totally was. So, chances are I will not be going to the Arizona meetup, but Huey will most likely be there representing Top Clack in full force. So
if you're in Arizona, I will be there. Coda will be there. Mega Beef will be there.
I like at least one of those people. I'll let you guys figure out which one.
Yeah, I'll be there. It's gonna be fun. I'm flying out Friday night for that meetup, which is on a Saturday. It's on the 27th of January. Yeah. So if you're in the area, well, let's hang out. Yeah. Let's hang out.
I might be there. Still not sure yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more likely that I will not be there. But we'll see. We'll see. Still some time.
Yeah.
Gio's asking us to fix the on-stream.
Got it.
Chat. Okay. Tomo-san is saying silly things. Dilbert Programmer asks, of any of the recently released Switches, which have impressed you the most? Hako Clears were really big one for me. I like those a lot. Also, the Box Jade and Box Navies, I think those are really cool. And get back to me after I use these round 8 78 gram Zelios, because I might like those too. We'll see. Definitely Hakos though. Those are kind of my pinnacle. Hakos and Box Navies and Jades.
For me, I'll give you a top 3 because I thought about this for 20 seconds. Hako Trues, BKE Heavies, Box Jades.
So now that you've actually had enough time with both the Hako Clears and Hako Trues, do you prefer the Hako Trues still over the Clears?
I need more time to answer that, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Hako Clears are pretty good.
I think the Clears are really, really good.
I put these buttons on correctly.
Oh, they're going to fall off if you turn it the wrong way.
No, dude. I put them on correctly.
What? How? What do you mean?
You put them in from the inside, my dude.
What?
Because they're flanged on the other side, right? So if they're on the inside, they're flanged against the kit.
I feel really embarrassed about this.
Come on, my dude.
Can we not talk about this anymore? Can we please just not talk about this anymore? Violet Viceroy asks, Huey and Brian, do you favor the right shift or left shift when typing, or do you use each about equally?
Only left shifts.
I'm exclusively a right shift typer, and I can't type any board that splits or moves the right shift. I am exclusively a right shift user, except when I'm playing games, which is kind of odd. So I'm obviously very comfortable with left shift when I game because I play a lot of shooters, and that tends to be an important key. Yeah. So yeah, I use right shift, but even when I split it, it's still in the right spot for me when I type. So I usually use split shift anyway because I like my FN key to the right of my right shift.
I exclusively only use left shift. Like, I've never actually used my right shift. If you look at every single key set I have, none of my right shifts have any shine on them. Because I literally only touch that key to put the keycap on and take the keycap off. That's the only time I touch the right shift key. Left shift life. In our Discord, I even have a left shift emote because all left shifts should be 2.25 only, but that is that.
Yep. All right, Ashing Fire asks, do you guys happen to know how long shipping speed of the E6 V2 will be? Exclusive said he would use DHL.
I don't know how long, but I hope it's quick.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I have no idea. I would like to know, but I'm also just gonna patiently wait. I don't expect it to get it, by Christmas or anything, anyways. So. Striker X09 asks, I know the box heavy burnt orange / dark yellows have had issues with production, but thoughts on them? I have thoughts on both. I actually didn't know the dark yellows had issues. I know the burnt oranges did, and the browns or whatever. Like the stems were slightly crooked or something. I think they feel good. I like the dark yellows. They're just a tad too heavy for me to use on daily use, but I think they feel very good. The burnt orange are pretty nice, but it's a very odd kind of tactility that I don't really care for.
Yeah. If you watch the episode 2 I did of which about reading force curve diagrams, I actually talk a little bit about the burnt orange, because the force curve that Hata did doesn't match the force curve graph that Kale gives. Kale gives where it's like, here's one, it goes down for the actuation and back up for the bottom out. Where if you look at Hata's, there's actually 2 bumps as you reach actuation, which makes that really unique feel to it. I think it's pretty decent. I mean, if there weren't so many other better tactile switches, I would have probably built one with the burnt oranges by now.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Master Wanderer asks, Huey, how good are the cheesecakes from Taco Bell?
Absolutely delicious. Context. Last weekend I went down to SoCal just to visit some personal friends and whatnot, and I saw Master Wanderer. I slept on his couch. He's a wonderful Top Clack supporter, and we got Taco Bell. And when we were ordering, I misheard him. I thought he ordered a cheesecake from Taco Bell. Turns out he ordered a quesadilla.
Wow.
Those are entirely different
very
things.
Similar words, apparently.
I was very confused when we were eating. I'm like, what happened to your cheesecake? And he's like, yeah, but that happened. So yeah, they do not serve cheesecake at Taco Bell as far as I know.
Yeah, I was about to be really surprised. It's been a while since I've been to a Taco Bell, but I don't think it changed that much. Megaforce asks, how does it feel to install switches wrong? Feels bad, not JPEG. I really didn't know they went in from the bottom like that. I thought it was from the top. They worked when you put them in from the top. I thought, oh my god, that's pretty embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry. I feel really stupid about that.
There's a whole scroll of my chat is just people lol Brian, my dude.
I know. I try to skip that as fast as I could.
Bug Whisperer asks, will someone make an entirely brass keyboard in 2018? You know what? I hope they do so. Do so.
Yep. Rogue Soldier 77 asks, favorite spacebar size? 7U.
7U?
All 7 of the U's. Geo asks, any chances of the E6V1 happening?
I
forgot.
Any chance of Jay Huang returning to life? Or I mean, not that he's dead, but returning. Even
when it was Jay Huang doing it, it was still called the E6V2. There never was an E6V1, but he had a reason why it was called the E6V2, but I don't recall it.
Well, no, there was a different design for it.
Oh. Okay.
And then he made the current one the E6V2 and pushed the other one back to E6V1 and ran the V2 first for some reason. It's basically E8V1 in 60% with that 0.75 or 0.25U blocker, the small blocker.
Zombimon asks, quote unquote, real Topra customs win.
Convince someone with enough know-how to develop a PCB to detect and measure electrocapacitance.
Yeah, because that's really what's holding us back.
That's it.
Yeah. Violet Viceroy asks, any further thoughts on BKE domes? I haven't used the light yet extensively. I'm still using the heavy. I think it's nice.
Got my lights. Got my heavies. I will have a review hopefully by next week, comparing lights, heavies, and my 55 gram. People asked me about it on Discord a little bit yesterday. I described The heavies as snappy. I described 55-gram lubed as creamy, and
Just how I like my switches, Huey. Creamy.
And I guess lights, BKE lights would be like a mixture of the two.
Okay. Creamy. What the hell?
They're smooth and like.
What a weird way to describe switches. That's like some Vector level stuff right there.
Yeah. Feel free to put in any final questions you have as we begin to wrap things up.
Yes.
But in the
Make
meantime,
sure you check out our sponsors for today's episode. We got Input Club, awesome people behind things like the K-Type, White Fox, Night Fox, Infinity line of products.
they have the Kyra waitlist. They put like it's open, like maybe I think it's their next project. Can't confirm, probably is.
Yeah, you head over to Kono.store, join that, and while you're there, you can pick up a Top Clack T-shirt and a White Fox T-shirt
and a White Fox hat.
Yeah. I'm not a hat guy. I don't like hats.
I'm not a big hat guy too, because like, look at this hair. Come on, why would you want to cover it up?
Your hair is as luscious as Huey's. You can't wear hats.
Also, special shout out to Z Frontier, who has been subbing some of our content in Chinese on their Chinese site. They run a lot of sets, and they've been running a lot of keyboards, like the Alpha X2, which ended. I know they might be running the Evil 80 that we covered today. Might be. Haven't confirmed that. But
they have been very kind to us at Top Class.
Yeah, they've been extremely kind. Actually, the most recent thing they subbed was the when we talked about the C70 last week. It's really cool. It was nice. Yeah, check them out. They're doing these. We talked about today the interest check for JTK. Lol, I don't remember. Aqua. They got the Pantone colors selected. They're planning on running it very, very soon. So check that out when you get a chance.
Yep. And of course, we have the wonderful Novelkeys as usual. Head over there, buy switches, show them love, put hearts everywhere.
Buy stabs.
Yeah, get your GMK screw-in stab fix once he restocks. Pick up a big switch. When you're done, enter that promo code TOPCLACK. Get 5% off your whole order. Be a little bit cheaper for you. On top of his already very reasonable prices. So, good stuff. Support the good guys. Oh, Olivia is giving the people the reminder to use your Prime subscription if you haven't this month. So if you have Amazon Prime, that means you automatically have Twitch Prime for one channel. And if you're not using it on anyone else, maybe consider us if you like us.
Thanks to Musan for subscribing.
Woo. Tomo-san. Holla. Awesome. Good stuff.
Holla, holla, all hail the mighty dollar.
Oh, yeah. Oh, also, Discord, link below the stream if you want to join our Discord and you haven't already. Lots of cool things happen there. If you want a chance to win some BKE Redux light domes or BKE Redux heavy domes, we have one of each to give away, like a huge pack of each, like I think 110 of each. You can head over to our Discord. That giveaway will be starting maybe tonight. Maybe we'll start that tonight, actually.
What are the rules, Brian? I know the rules. Do you remember the rules? I remember the rules.
You can go over the rules, since you probably have them a little bit more off the top of your head.
You had to have joined our Discord by last week, so just like the Clipe. We'll have a form up for you to submit it, but when you submit, you have to give us a timestamped photo of your Topra board, because we want the winners of these BKE domes to have Topra boards, to be able to use them right away. We don't want to, end up raffling off to someone who's going to straight flip it, to be honest. Yeah.
It's a very particular kind of prize, and it would be bad. It wouldn't necessarily be bad, but it would be unfortunate if someone that, for instance, hates Topra to receive these and be like, I don't want these. It makes a little bit more sense to just have it go to someone that will actually use it.
Who can use it right away.
Only enter the giveaway if you're going to use it, and then of course, like Huey mentioned, we'll need a timestamp picture of your Topra board. So there is that. We don't have the form for it yet.
The form will be up tonight or tomorrow.
It'll be in the announcement section of there, and you will have had to join the Discord. I don't know. We have to set a cutoff date.
No, they can join it by same. It's the same cutoff as the Clipe.
Okay,
so people have already in.
Once we start the group
or yeah, people. I guess we'll say it until Friday, maybe.
Okay, so just either way, Huey and I will figure things out. Keep your eyes on the announcements channel because that's where it'll be. So yeah, if you join now, you're safe. You can come in and win stuff. And
it'll go live tonight or tomorrow, and it'll be live until Monday, and it'll be the same where we will announce the winner next episode. I think we had one more question come in, right? One more, okay.
Oh yes. Actually, this is an awesome question for reasons. So Rogue Soldier 77 asks, any thoughts on the Varmillo contactless EC switch? So when they were still like rendering and prototyping this, we covered this months and months ago. We covered the news on the show. We thought it was pretty cool. We were curious how it might feel because it didn't really differ a whole lot from design in terms of like a standard MX switch. So we kind of felt it might feel like that. But about a week ago, Varmillo actually messaged me and they were like, hey, like we're releasing this new keyboard. What are you pointing at?
You.
Oh, I'm like, should I be noticing something?
No,
here?
I'm pointing at you.
Okay. Yes. Anyways, Varmillo was like, "Do you want to check out this new keyboard with our new electrocapacitive switches?" And I was like, "Yes, sign me up." So I will be getting that presumably in the near future. So I will have a review out on that and then lots more info. So stay tuned if you want to know more about that. Pretty excited for it.
Thank you for Norbauer for subscribing, and thank you to Geo for giving Coda a subscription to us.
Wait, what?
That's
a thing?
Geo gifted a $4.99 sub to Coda68. So I guess it means Coda is subscribed with Geo's money?
Is that like a new Twitch thing? I've never seen that before. Interesting. Oh,
cool. Wow.
Here we go. Gift a sub. Interesting. Oh, and it's cheaper too. Neat.
Cool. Oh, well, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Sorry I've been dragging this on for 7-ish minutes. But yeah, check out our sponsors, check out our Discord, check us out, because we be ballin'. I'll see you all on Christmas, and if not, we will see you next week on the 28th of December at 6 p.m. per the norm. So everyone, have a wonderful evening. Hope to see you on Discord. Hope to see you join that raffle. Peace out, everyone. Stay classy.